Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is our weekly call. My name is Robin Blank Mascari, and we get together every Tuesday night to share the great news of LifeWave, to give people a brief history of the company, our founder, and share about our technology. And we always have a special guest. I call it my doctors in rotation. We have a special one this evening that they're all wonderful, and I get to learn from each and every one of them. We want to give you a warm welcome if you're brand new and you've never known anything about LifeWave. A special welcome to you, and of course, a warm welcome for all of you that are distributors and like to join us every week. We have lots of regulars, and I love seeing all your names. So thanks for being here with us tonight. So let's get started here. Just a reminder for everyone, we are not here to prescribe, diagnose, or treat any kind of diseases. If you have a condition, please contact your healthcare practitioner. We are here to talk about the technology of LifeWave and the wonderful benefits that this technology can provide for you. And I just like to start out with sharing my story of how we all ended up here, because most everyone is in the Live Younger community, although we invite everyone to join us. Many years ago, 3 years ago, I had a knee replacement and didn't want to have another one, although I was a candidate for a double. So I started researching stem cell injections and learned a lot in a very short period of time, and was fascinated and had chosen what I was going to use. And it was $12,500 out of pocket, no guarantee. Then I got one of those life-changing calls. And I think a lot of you who are on this line know what I mean by that. The call that says, Robin, there's a new technology. It uses light and it activates your own younger stem cells. And I went, how fast can I get it? I didn't need any more information. This was someone who I trusted. I got the patches and I started out as a customer. I was involved in another company at a very significant level, and I wasn't looking for a business at the time. So I started using the patches, and there's this one right on C7, right at the top of my spine, and I had it there for a week, and my knee pain went away. I had excruciating pain in my left knee. I'd been bone on bone for a long time, and I was in awe of what happened. And I'm the kind of person that if I find something of value, I share it. It's just my nature. And I shared it with some people that had some challenges, and they also had some amazing experiences, and they started sharing. And then all of a sudden I went, this is like amazing. It's fun, it's easy, it's lucrative, but more importantly, it's life-changing. And I started at the beginning of November in 2018. And then by the end of February of 2019, I went, I need to make a change. This is too important. And I shifted from just sharing to feeling truly a sense of responsibility to let people know about this technology, because this is historic. So one thing led to another, and many of you are here because someone shared with you. And a little bit about the history of the company, because it's a fascinating company. In November, it'll be 16 years old, and it got started in 2004 when David Schmidt, prior to 2004, he was working on a government contract for the Navy SEALs to create something that would help them stay awake in their mini subs. I don't know if many of us realize, but sometimes there are people in a single mini sub all by themselves for days on end. And they wanted something that would help them access energy without stimulants or chemicals. And our very first patch was born. It was great and it worked, but 9/11 happened, the government's priorities changed, and the patch got discovered by athletes. One day, David Schmidt, our founder and owner, got a call from Richard Quick, who is the Olympic swim coach for the women's swim team. He was based out of Stanford. He's no longer with us anymore, but we honor him always through LifeWave. We have a special award in his name. He called up David Schmidt and he said 6 of my 8 swimmers, and these are world-class Olympic swimmers, did their personal best the very first time they used the Energy Enhancer patch, which was the first patch. And then the word started getting out, and now there are athletes all over the world in just about every sport you can think of. There's NFL players, NBA players, Olympic athletes, and if you go to lifewave.com, to the bottom of the page in the black section, there's a news section, and you can learn and see athletes in just about every sport out there. Well, David is an inventor. He's our founder. He's a scientist. He is our CEO. He's got amazing gifts and talents, and he likes to invent. He loves the science, and so he started creating more patches. So LifeWave was founded in 2004, and the first phase of the company was kind of the symptom patches. There was the energy patch, and then and he discovered that the energy patch actually had some pain relief benefits to it. So he worked on it a bit, and he created the Ice Wave patch, which in scientific studies have proven that over 90% of people get instant or rapid pain relief. The patches are non-transdermal, nothing's going in the body. It's pretty amazing. And then Silent Night, which is a sleep patch, and there are hospitals in Europe that use it instead of sleep medication. Phase 1 is symptoms. Phase 2, he got into the anti-aging phase. And there are 3 patches from that phase: Aeon, glutathione, and carnosine. I'm not going into detail with the other patches this evening. When you're brand new, we keep a focus on X39 because it's so comprehensive. And that's the 3rd phase. It's called the regenerative phase. So phase 2 is putting the brakes on aging. Phase 3 is turning back the biological clock, actually reversing aging. And we actually have 2 patches, Alavita and X39, that do regenerative benefits for the body, which are very exciting. So a little bit about David, then I'm going to bring our guest on. David Schmidt, our founder, owner, inventor, scientist. He loves science, and he's an inventor. He's got over 100 patents and patent pendings to his name. He loves research and has invested millions and millions of dollars into clinical research to validate the efficacy of our products. And that's the reason we have thousands of healthcare practitioners involved in LifeWave. We have the validation, and as Dr. Nicholas says, it enhances the clinical outcome. So that's a little bit about the foundation of the company and our founder. And now I get to bring on our special guest this evening, who I've been really looking forward to having because he is something very special. He comes to us with a background in the allopathic world and the Chinese medicine world, which is quite fascinating. He got a BS in nursing at the University of Florida, a pre-med and a medical technology, and he worked in emergency medicine, ICU, and lately interventional radiology. And then he was deciding whether he should go down the conventional path and become a pathologist or take a different direction. And in 1990, he went to, I was going to say drove, I don't think he did this. He went to Beijing, China, and became a student at the main oncological hospital in Beijing. And the rest is history for this guy because he got so excited. He immersed himself into Chinese medicine and came back to the States and went to the Community School of Traditional Chinese Healthcare in Miami. And now he is a nationally accredited acupuncture physician, an AP, which is a new thing for me, which I love because he's been trained in both the allopathic and Chinese medicine world. He really, understands the body, and he knows when the best time is to use, which direction. So currently he lives in Colorado, and he works at the Boulder Community Healthcare Center and their integrative center with cancer patients. He also has a private practice with the use of traditional Chinese medicine. And I love this about Dr. Walt. He says practitioners have an obligation to be open and to share research technologies that take our patients to a paradigm shift in their healthcare. Well, aren't we lucky to have Dr. Walt in our LifeWave community? So come on and show your face, Dr. Walt. There you are. You want to go off mute so we can hear you. Unmute your line. I see you talking. You got to unmute your line. Press that little microphone.
That good?
There you are. Oh, yay.
Yay. I'm still getting used to this whole Zoom thing. At some feet. I'm a little bit rusty with all this stuff. Still learning.
It's
So,
a new way in life, isn't it?
yeah, thank you.
Well, Dr. Walt, we are thrilled to have you as part of our LifeWave community with such an amazing background. Can you tell the audience why you chose to get involved with LifeWave?
Well, it's revolutionary, and it does do what I just said. I do have an obligation to look at things that are well researched. I have to really say that. I always look at things that are very well researched. And to be honest with you, I knew about LifeWave. I got a call from a very good friend of mine, and you know her, Dr. Shanhan Liu. She's a medical doctor, and she asked me, have you heard about this new X39? And I said, no, tell me about it. All I heard was stem cell activation, and I was like, sign me up. I don't, because I trust her. And I already knew, being a practitioner of Oriental medicine, I'm already there about energy, light, all of these things, frequencies. So boom, that was it. I just came in as a diamond and started this whole process, which is amazing.
So let's have you share what is so amazing. What are you noticing in working with your patients?
Well, what's amazing to me, and not all of my patients were told what I was going to be doing to them. For instance, my patients know that the first thing that they have to go over when they come to me is, do they have pain and are they having insomnia? We got to fix those two energetic imbalances right away, or the body's not going to really heal as fast. So what I was doing was taking the patches and putting some paper tape on it and just laying it on the person's clothes that had pain. And within minutes, they were like, what are you doing, doc? I don't have any pain. So that was a huge aha for them. And that's what I needed for them to see. And then I got into the new technology and talked about what it was all about.
Well, that's what I'd love you to share, because I know we have a lot of people that are brand new, and they'd love to hear, what is this historic breakthrough in technology that activates stem cells?
Right. So one thing that I do want to start with is, if I was to tell people, let's say back in the 60s or early 70s, if I was able to put you in a tube, I would be able to see the inside of your body without cutting you. They would have thought I was crazy. And that's the CT scanner and the MRI machine today. So we're jumping. I'm 68 and I keep seeing these jumps in healthcare, and the patches are one of them. So this is a way that we can actually non-invasively, and it's non-thermal, meaning there's no heat involved. We can start to activate the cells of our body to do what they can do, what they inherently are supposed to do, is bring us back to homeostasis or balance. Those are two very important things for any practitioner, and at the same time do it with no side effects. And I find that very, very important to do. The other thing that for my clients is it's economical. I mean, you just talked about how much it was for your stem cell, $12,000. This is, not a fraction, it's a fraction of that. So we have an opportunity to really rebalance our bodies very quickly. And in some instances, it takes a little bit longer because the stem cells are going to go to where the inflammatory process is the most. And we see some amazing results. So I like the results. I like that the patients are happy. If a patient's happy, I'm happy. And I progress with that. I usually use the X39 for a couple of months. I don't tell them to bombard themselves with all the other patches, because it's normal that people want to learn about the patches. There are cases where if their pain doesn't go away right away, I may include either the energy enhancer or the ice pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've already touched a little bit on this technology, and now I know a lot of people are new to it. The term is called photobiomodulation. That's a big word. Could you kind of share what this technology is and why you're so excited about it?
So photo has to do with light. Bio is basically biology, and modulation is how this light is modulated. So this brilliant man, David Schmidt, found out how to take certain, they're like organic crystal salts and amino acids, and a combination of those, and he put them in this little patch. So when the patch goes on my body, okay, every human body, every animal, and even plants give off an energy. This is proven, okay? That energy is kind of like an infrared energy. It's a heat energy, and you felt people next to you can feel their heat. So that heat goes into this patch, and then that patch modulates an energy back into the body, giving it a message to do something in the body, whether it's increase your energy or activate your stem cells that are pretty much hanging around waiting to be stimulated. And because, you know, somebody like me who's 68, my stem cells are kind of lower, and this peptide called GHK, which has been researched, probably 40 years it's been being researched, is kind of like a peptide that is almost a food for your stem cells. And they love it, and they start activating and go running out to find out where the inflammatory process is, or which one is the most valid one to attack first. And so it's a very gentle, not a manipulation, but it's an activation of our body's electrical system. Same way that in acupuncture, when I stick a needle in somebody, who knew? Now they actually know that there's corpuscles right within our vessels and around our organs, that if I stimulate an acupuncture point, it sends light and energy to do something. So we're doing basically the same thing, but now this is non-invasive, no energy that needs to be added to the body. The body's going to do it itself. The body has an innate ability to bring itself back to homeostasis.
I love when you say that, because we're not putting anything in the body, and the body's job is always to get back to homeostasis, and it just helps it get there. And so this patch, the newest star of the show, that's kind of stolen the show actually, X39, it activates the copper peptide. And we do invite everybody, whether you're a practitioner or just interested in learning about LifeWave, to do your own independent research on this copper peptide. If you're a practitioner and you're used to using PubMed.gov, go there. If you're a Google person, go there, or whatever your favorite, search engine is, and learn what happens. The only things we share at LifeWave about the copper peptide are things that we have clinical proof about. And so that's what you'll hear. So you want to share some of the benefits you've seen from some of your patients?
Well, I'll share one with me. I mean, I was very new to the X39, and I was in my kitchen, and I moved pretty quick. It's probably because of, working in hospitals all my life. And I cut my index finger with the scissors, and it could have used maybe 2 stitches. And I actually videotaped the blood pouring out of it and sent it to Blue and some other people. That cut would not stop bleeding. So what I did is I thought, aha, perfect opportunity. I put a patch here. The cut was right here on this finger. I put a patch here. And within a minute, I felt like a tingling of ants going, and it stopped bleeding. The other amazing thing to this was I did not have any kind of swelling. The fingers were the same. I had no pulsation. When you get a cut, you feel this little pulsation. And there was no tenderness. The wound approximated in 4 days. And it continued to heal without any pain, swelling at all. So that's something for me. With my patients, some of them definitely with pain management, it was very big for them to experience, losing their pain. And so then they got very interested and wanted to know more about the other patches. But for me right now, it's been really more about pain management, to be honest with you.
Which is extraordinary. And I do tell people that you do not need to go to such trouble to get a good testimonial, okay?
No, you don't. Today, I had one of my patients tell me that, and he's a male, and he said all of a sudden he's felt that his skin looks different. It looks better. And I said, yep, that'll happen too. It'll start to strengthen your collagen in your face.
And everywhere else in your body.
Everywhere else, yep.
I mean, I wanted the pain in my knee to go away, and it did. And then and I'm starting to notice, because some of the changes are subtle over time.
Right.
And so I noticed my hair change, the quality of my skin change. I like to say I'm not so afraid of that magnifying mirror in my bathroom anymore. And And so that's pretty exciting. And I was noticing one day I was reading the newspaper without my glasses. I
Uh,
went, oh my goodness. And the thing that excited me a lot was my reaction time is dramatically better. And the most recent study that is published, available on lifewave.com in the science section, is from Dr. Chevalier on the enhancement of cognitive function,
right.
which is very exciting for people like you and me in that age range, to know that the older we get chronologically or chronologically, the younger our cognitive functions are, and that's very exciting. You said something else really important, is that stem cells have this innate wisdom to go to where they're needed most.
Most. And so
Yeah.
that's something that I want people to understand, that if they're not feeling the effects that they want to feel, something else is happening. This patch will definitely make your stem cells activate, and something is going to be working inside of your body. It may not be what you want, but you need to give it some time. And if you are, with somebody that's a practitioner, just tell them that. Maybe you want to add another patch. But I like to have my patients use the X39 for at least 2 months, because it's working on you. I had one lady who is very, very sick, a lot of different problems with her organs and her blood cells. And she wasn't able to go to the bathroom really well. So she put on her X39, and she called me like 2 hours later. She had 3 bowel movements, back to back, huge bowel.
My.
And she said, what the heck is that? I said, for some reason, these little guys wanted to really clean you out, to get all the toxins out of your body, So who knows what's happening, but trust me, it's happening in your body.
That is really important, because some people say it's not working.
Right.
We know it's always working. You may not notice that maybe you had some lung tissue or heart tissue or kidney, a vital organ that had some damage. The stem cells are always looking for work. And so they're going to go where they're most needed. So are we ready to open up the lines and see who's got some questions?
Sure.
Okay, let's see what we got here. I saw a few come in. Let's see here. From Jenny, she says, the SP6 seemed to stop reducing my cravings. I have tried all the placements. Would it help to try it on the right side, even though the instructions say the left side?
Well, if you're going by Chinese standards, you have an SP on your left and an SP on your right. The thing about what you said, Jenny, is that it really apparently worked for you, and you've tried all of the areas. Just rotate them again. I wouldn't worry about the right side. Now, one thing that I do want to let people know is I've had some people say that it really curbed their appetite to the point where they really didn't want to eat. And I don't like that. So I recommend that if that happens to you, do it maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and see what happens, because you do need to eat. Even if it's an apple with some nuts, or however you eat, we don't want it to cut your appetite totally. You have to ingest something, especially if you're exercising.
Okay.
So just rotate them.
Rotate. And, Dr. Nicholas, because he's my sponsor. And when I started, I did a lot of calls with him, and I heard him over and over again say, trust your instincts. You can't hurt anything.
Right.
And so you say rotate it. If you get a sense to try another spot, go for it. And, a piece of medical tape, a Band-Aid, a regular piece of tape, and hold it on there and just let it be for a little bit and see, because, and trust your instincts. So that's great. So Carolyn is asking, why would you use an energy patch for pain?
Energy enhancer patch?
Yes.
Because there's something about the energy enhancer patch which unblocks the meridians, or unblocks stagnant energy. And where anything is blocked, you're going to get pain. So those are usually used when I feel like I need to unblock the meridians, not to do it with acupuncture, but I'm doing it with the energy enhancer. That's why.
I've heard Dr. Joan, who's Dr. Nicholas's partner, say, it makes all the other patches work better because you've got the energy flowing in your body, just like you said. It makes a lot of sense. And the energy patch was energy enhancer was the very first patch. And David noticed it had pain reducing qualities. And so he took part of what was going on with Energy Enhancer and tweaked it to create IceWave.
IceWave. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and just so everyone knows, we do have a patch for horses called AccuLife. There's a special website too, and you can find it at the bottom of the LifeWave page on the right in the black section. And that's actually an IceWave patch also. And there's a brand new video called Horses Don't Lie that's available on our InTouch app. And if you don't have the app yet, you just go to your app store and download LifeWave InTouch. And there's lots of wonderful resources there. Okay. Oh, here's someone. Cheryl's asking, would it stop my snoring?
The Energy Enhancer?
What, do you have any idea what would stop snoring?
Well,
You make a lot of money on this one, Doc.
well, there's 3 patches. You know that the ones that we call the brain patches, the SP6, the Alavita, and the Nirvana. Those are the brain patches. So you might want to start to play with that. But here's my Western side saying to me, if you are having sleep apnea, I want you to get that checked out. It could be something a little deeper here.
What you said earlier, I think a lot of people really need to hear is that if someone is not sleeping well or they're in pain, they can't heal properly.
It
So
cannot.
those things need to be addressed first. And that's such an important part of our healing journey. You know, a lot of people say, well, you know, Silent Night didn't work for me. And then I asked them a lot of questions to understand why they're not sleeping. Do they have a busy mind? You know, are they exposed to too much blue light from devices? Are they stressed? And so there's different patches that can make a difference for them. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So I just learned something really new about the brain patches and trying for snoring. So I think we're going to give that a try here. So Ann Heiser's asking, why is rotation important?
Well, number one, that patch, even though it's not very sticky, we don't want it to do any damage to your skin. And you know what? We want you to activate on different areas. These areas that they show you are pretty much major acupuncture points. That's one of the reasons I really liked LifeWave, is Dave Smith saw the importance of these energy meridians, which are now, when I started at all this acupuncture, I was a pioneer and people thought I was really cuckoo. And now we have the proof that these meridians work and they do help open up those channels so that the energy is flowing so you can return to homeostasis. The body wants to do that always.
Great. So we got a few more questions. Barry would like to know, how long does one patch last? Great question, Barry.
Well, we use it for 12 hours. And I know some people will use half of a patch because they only, you know, sleep for, let's say, 6 hours and then save it for the next night. But I like to go with the research that our inventor tells us. Use it for 12 hours and take it off. Now, this is a little side note, and this is coming from me. If you put the patch on a plant, now remember, a plant gives off energy. I've noticed that my plant changes. It grows. So it's the same thing with an animal. If I take this little patch and the animal's hairy, you're not, you know, it's hard to put it on the hairy part, but you put it on the collar. These things activate between 4 and 6 inches of the body that is giving off heat, and animals give off heat. And so do plants. So there's an activation going on that happens very quickly, right away. So you want to keep them out of the heat, you know, make sure they're stored away from your body, because they're all these guys are activating. So if you have it in your purse is underneath your arm or something, they're getting activated and you're getting a nice dose of it. Nothing can hurt you.
Beautiful, beautiful. I pulled my wallet out today and had a patch on. Is that going to make my money grow?
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
I had this wonderful thought. Okay, so Patricia would like to know, would it be useful to use X39 to stimulate the vagus nerve, and where would you place it to help target that?
Anywhere. Number one, remember this, even behind your neck, that's a major acupuncture point, or below your belly button. So these are going to go everywhere that's needed. If your vagus nerve needs it, that's where it's going to go. And to be honest, Robin, you can put this X39 pretty much anywhere, because one of the first things that I used it was for my right shoulder, which 9 months I had a fall, and it was pretty much a frozen shoulder. You know, I was sticking needles in it, but I wasn't consistent. Dr. Lou told me about it. The first place I put it was here. Within a day, I was moving it. Within a week, it was all fixed.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That's, I mean, I say wow more than anything, because every day we get to hear miracle stories.
Yeah.
And I'm just continually in awe, actually. Okay, we got one more, and that is the bottom of the hour. So let's answer what Sam has to ask. He says, I have a friend that is told he needs to consider surgery for his sinuses because of the blockages causing a lack of oxygen to his brain. What patches and where would he place them for the most benefit if he wants to avoid surgery? And we don't say we avoid surgery, but benefits can be great. So what would you recommend?
The first thing is, you know, why is this happening? Does he have polyps up there? Is there an infection? I would put it right here. Right here over your forehead is a major acupuncture point called yin tang. I would put it here. See what happens. It cannot hurt. I would also go for the top of the head and put an X39 here. Up here, I might put an Eon with a glutathione on top. Remember, the glutathione increases or activates your glutathione, which is the most powerful antioxidant in your body. It's going to start to help to fight things. So I would include those three things. Remember, the Eon patch is complementary to all other patches. Okay, and the Eon will help with reducing some inflammation and start to balance the body and the organs also.
Beautiful. Do you have time for one or two more? We're a little past the hour.
Yeah.
Okay. The Eon patch was the star of the show before X39 came out, and it does balance the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So it's a great thing to wear at night when you're sleeping, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And that's when I wear mine.
That's when I wear mine too. That's great. Okay. What would happen if you use more than one X39?
Nothing. You're just using more than one X39. It's still going to activate. And if you're thinking that you need two, is there something going on inside that you need to reevaluate? But it's going to activate.
Yeah, and I like what you said to Sam is, you know, you need to know more information about what's causing the sinus issues, right. And that will make a big difference. I've heard people put the Eon patch right here, and if they had clogged sinuses and it just drained them, and then they moved it to up here after that, after the draining happened. But there looks like there's something maybe more serious. Okay, the last one we have from Nellie, and she says, what would you suggest for a burn of arms and legs? Now it says and tortoise. I don't think the tortoise is
torso maybe. Yeah.
Maybe it's torso.
Yeah. I would still.
We have patch tortoises and it works.
Oh, I'm sure it would. It's an animal, you know.
Yeah.
I would use the X39 on the back of the neck. Okay. And then I would also use the glutathione, which is the antioxidant, to make sure that you're going to start to fight any kind of infection that might be in there. But remember, it's going to go everywhere. Those little cells are really waiting to be fed and get going, and they'll find the inflammation in the burns. Now, if you want to utilize the X39, if you said it's on the arm, so go to an area where there's no burn and go to another area where there's no burn and utilize it that way. You're going to see quick healing that way.
Beautiful.
The same thing, if it's on the front of your body, put two X39s on either side, here or here, and it's going to start to really activate those stem cells, and they're going to go right to that area.
Well, this has been really, really enlightening, Dr. Walt. I'm so grateful for you taking the time to be with us this evening, and I look forward to having you on regularly. This is wonderful getting to work with you. And Dr. Lou, oh my goodness, she's brought on so many wonderful people. We're very grateful to have so many practitioners. So just finalizing things for our audience, Dr. Walt, if they want to approach their practitioners, do you have any ideas or suggestions on how they can be effective in having the practitioner be open to what we have to offer?
I think something that would really amaze them is if you say to the practitioner, I'd like for you to go to PubMed, okay, and look up something called GHK-CU. Tell me what you think and let me know. That's a simple way, so you don't have to get into the explanation of the biophotomodulation and stuff. Let them do their homework, because when they do their homework, if they do it, they're going to come back with, wow, this is amazing. Do you know about where I could get this? And that this conversation can start. Because usually MDs they have to take off that MD hat and start looking at, wow, this could really revolutionize my practice and help my patients.
And that's actually what Dr. Nicholas says all the time. It enhances the clinical outcome of whatever you're doing.
Right.
Whatever it is. And I just recently, as many people know, had a total knee replacement. It took away the pain, but it didn't take away the deformity that had already occurred. So I had to get new to get straightened out. And I went back for my post-op appointment just recently. And I had done exactly what you said, Dr. Walt. I asked my doctor to do his own research. And when I came in, I said, did you do your homework? And he said, yes. I wasn't expecting that, but he did. He goes, this is very intriguing. So guess who I'm following up on?
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and he's got a sports medicine practice and getting those athletes back to their sport quicker. Oh my goodness. And that, like you mentioned earlier, the wound healing is profound. It is profound. So if you know anyone that's had a procedure, that's had an accident, it's extraordinary.
Right.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Walt. Thank you, participants, for being with us. And if you're new this evening, please get back to the person who invited you. And we are here every Tuesday night. You can watch us on Live Younger Zoom in the next few days and on Facebook Live. So thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Night.